Today, you guys are going to learn how to turn your normal car interior into this. Hi everyone, today we're installing a full ambient lighting kit with speaker lights as well for 2006 ML350 or w164 ML350. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think many people have done this before, only a few. So I'll show you the process and how to do. Alright guys, I'm starting off by taking off all this front pieces out. It's pretty easy. You can just search it up online. It comes like this first, and obviously with this piece in here too. So this is, I took this out after, but this goes in like that and it comes out. There's two screws right there, you'll see. But first, this piece will be on there too, and then for the w164, this piece goes in here. You see these notches go in there, and to take it out, you put your hands in here on both sides and you squeeze it out the notches, and they kind of bend. You see they bend, but you just put your hand in here and you pull on both sides and wiggle, and it'll come, and you pull it out and it should come out, but you have to be careful because it will launch out and this piece will come out. And then there's this Velcro thing attached to this box here, and it just pulls off easily. Once that's off, yeah. But then to start with all of that, first this will be on. You just go underneath where it attaches right here to here with the prying tool, and you pry it slowly, and this part will pop up like that and stay there, and then slowly pop it out and go around. Just slightly wiggle it and it will come out. That's how you deal with that. And then for the wires, for the plug, it's easy, obviously. You'll figure it out. You push this and you pull it back. If you can't, then you can watch a video, and then I'll show you guys the other stuff now. For the lights, I got the main lights here. I'm going to show you how it's like. I'll start wiring it up. All right guys, so this took me quite a while to actually figure out. After I took out all this stuff, I realized that there has to be some way that I can put the wire around through here and get it routed. So you gotta take this instrument cluster off the gauges, and this is not the best place to be filming, but these tabs right here, you have to push them down through these holes through here. You'd be able to see the tabs just a little bit. Put the screwdriver in on one side, push it down with one hand and lift it up with the other, and then do it for the other side too, and then slowly wiggle it out and pull it out, and that's it. And then you gotta use this panel right here. You just wedge something in here, pop it out, and then grab it from the top and pull it out. And you can make sure you extend your wheel back so you have space. And now I have access for the wires to go through here. So I'll show you guys the next. And this is the main controller for the kit here. Comes with the diagram. I'll put the exact kit in the link so you guys can get it too. It's around $80 Canadian. It's a really good deal, 22 in 1. Comes with speakers, lights as well. So now I'm starting. This is the long light. It's called the long light bar. And I'm gonna disconnect it from this control box right here and then route the wiring around, and I'll show you guys after. This is just a test, but the lights work. No, I found the proper power source, so I just gotta figure out the other stuff. All right guys, I'm in the ML over here. You see I found the correct power source and everything. That's not a big deal. I have to remove the center console because I was able to get one of the footwell lights through there, and then down there it's a bit harder for that one, for the passenger side. And then I realized that I'm gonna have to do the wiring for the rear footwell lights, so I might as well just take this whole center console out to properly figure it out. So you gotta open this glove box, center compartment, and then there's this plastic piece here that slides in, and you just wedge something in lightly, like this plastic removal tool. You just wedge something in lightly with this plastic removal tool, and it pops out, it slides up like that, and then remove this. Now the cup holder can just be taken out. Just pull it up. It's hard to do it with one hand, but I'll show you guys after. And then there's an electrical connection too. Yeah, so you just lift up, you just push it and it lifts up, and then there's like one electrical connector, and then there's this bracket in here. You push it and you slide it out. Guys, so now you see here there'll be two covers here. You just pop them off with the trim piece removal tool or screwdriver, and then it's I forgot, the size is T30 for the screws, two there, and then there's gonna be two here, but I removed them and there's no screw hole right now because I already pulled the center console back, and I was able to fish the other light that's supposed to be here through there. I'm gonna have to wire it or whatever, tuck the wiring, attach it, and then route the other wires, and then it's good. So I'll let you guys know what happens. How the setup looks so far, the wires, control box, it's gonna be inside there after, but trying to just clean up this mess, and then routing the longer wires down through there. All right guys, you see the longer wire, I went and routed it through these holes down. It's pretty self-explanatory. You'll be able to see it down here, you see, because once the center console is open, you can grab it. And now the light is here. I'm just gonna route it around. It's simple. All right, I showed you guys how I moved the light all the way around through here. You see that wire? And I'll put it through there, through this area. It's really hard to see, but it goes inside. I'll show you. Sorry guys, I'm trying my best to show as much as possible. If you guys have any questions, you can ask as much as you want, but you see it goes down through the seat, and it can move, and it has enough room, and it's not going to be visible, and it's going to shine like crazy, man. It's going to look crazy once it's mounted. It's not going to be visible. It's going to illuminate this area really well. Mom, you don't need the 12-volt adapter. Look, there's one over here and another one over here. So all you have to do is plug the phone charger right here, and then the wire is gonna go there to charge your phone, and also you can use your thing. All right guys, for the wiring, it's really simple. On your cigarette lighter thing here, this wire, the black and yellow wire, is the power 12-volt wire, and the brown one for Mercedes is always ground. For Mercedes, for every Mercedes cars is ground. It's brown. So ground is brown, and the power wire is black and yellow. And it connects to this, and it connects to the control box. All right guys, so basically got one light here, one light over there, and one light here underneath. What happened was that the long strip light, I tried to bend it all around, and it basically stopped working, and I had to change plans and use extra lights from another kit that I got for my own car, my Subaru, because this is my mom's car. I'm installing this on, and then I got a kit for my Subaru, so I had to take some stuff out of that kit to use for this car. So I basically used a secondary dash light that was meant to go on this side, so I put one here, and I put another one here, and then I put a door light over there. And I'll show you guys after. I'm basically putting everything back to center console, and I showed you guys the wiring already, and it's pretty self-explanatory for this front part. And for this bottom, you can go through the grommet for the factory aux cord, and it still closes for that wire. And then for this strip wire, the wire just goes, see, right under there, through and connect, and it's perfectly fine. And I'll show you guys after when I put this in how it looks. Alright guys, I've already done this on the other front door before. This is the driver's side front door now. So I'll tell you guys the process, okay? So here you have your speaker light, obviously. And it's gonna have to face this way because the LEDs are this way. So it's gonna go in there like that. Obviously the wire has to go up. And I'd recommend covering any exposed wire because when the light's shining, it will be seen through. So I recommend using black electrical tape, and then hold it there or put hot glue and then glue it on. I'll show you guys the process of that after. So that's how that's gonna be. Then the wire's gonna be there. Then you see right here, you gotta make sure you look at the back of the door handle. You see now, right about somewhere around here will be the middle point. If you look, the middle point, that's the place where you're gonna drill a hole for these the mini bulbs for the storage and door lights. So once you drill that hole, the storage light will just fit in there, and you can hot glue it on, and I'll show you that. And then the other storage light will be, the hole has to be drilled here, because if you see right there in the storage compartment, it's gonna go, the hole's gonna go here and the light's gonna go through, and it's gonna shine nicely. Okay, it's very self-explanatory, and I'll show you once I've done it. And obviously it's not gonna be in the way of the switch because the trunk switch is here. I'm gonna drill the hole here and make the spot. Okay, and then after, I'll show you guys the process of the light bar going here, because they're gonna need to tape it, and I'm gonna need to use a rotary to cut it. All right, you guys see it's glued, hot glued. It looks good. Now the wire's free. Okay, now make sure you don't get any close to the electrical connectors, and just find a spot or use a marker to mark it. And then I'll show you the drill bit you use. It's on the, see, now it's off. It's the bare door panel. That's the skin that'll cover everything, so it will look factory when you're doing your wiring. So now obviously we have to get the kit, and gonna have to make space for the light bar to fit. I'll show you how that works. You see, now it's perfect in the spot, lowered. Now I can show you guys what to do next. Just find the drill bit that's close to the size of the light. See, the control slave box is gonna come like this. Just disconnect all the connections, because you're obviously gonna set up the light separately, right? So take out the mini bulb light, and then find the correct size drill bit that's close to it. I forgot which this one is, because I put tape over it to mark it so I don't lose it. See guys, right there is my spot that I started drilling. Hopefully you can see that right there. So once it's through, I'll show you guys. And obviously when you're drilling it, make sure you don't drill the door the handle. Make sure you move it up. Today you guys are going to learn how to turn your normal car interior into this. It's very simple. You see, you get this, the little mini light, and this drilled hole, and you place it. You see, it's placed in, and now on the other side, can see the light poking out. And to secure that in spot, it's gonna be glued, hot glued, just like this speaker was. I do not recommend using the tape that comes with the kit. It's really horrible. It takes 10 years to rip off, and you'll just have like the worst time of your life. So use hot glue or some other mounting method. See, it's perfectly drilled. On the other side, you can see, right? Now, it's up to you how seen you want the light. If you want it more hidden, you can do it on the bottom. It depends. But I want it to be more visible. I don't care if it's shown because these lights are pretty dim. And I noticed for the first door when I didn't show it that much, you can't notice it that well. So I want it to be noticed, like actually see the light. So I'll put it right here in the middle. And then you see, it's very simple. Okay, you see guys what I did here? There's multiple holes, and I'll tell you why. Because if you just put one light like this, it's not gonna work. It won't be visible at all. I already tested it out. So what you have to do is make a cutout for this, and then use a small rotary or a knife to cut this square out, and then put this in, the light in, and it's gonna look nice. If you guys don't like it that way, you can think of your own way to do it, but that's the best way for me, the easiest, and I don't mind, and it looks good for me. Got the rotary here. Gonna attempt to slice this up. Be careful with the wiring, and obviously maybe wear some eye protection. And this is a cheap rotary tool, and I recommend getting something like this as well so you can move your tools around. And this job takes a lot of tools, so yeah. See guys, cut right there. If I move this down, my knee, if I move it down, you see, I know that looks like a fat, big hole. Sounds wrong, but that's what's you need to use. With this light, you see, now it's gonna go in, you see, like that, and you just get the hot glue and you glue it in. It's gonna look perfect. See guys, now it's hot glued in. Hopefully it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. It won't, obviously, because I did it on the other doors. And you see all the lights there, and it's gonna look crazy. So now the next step is flipping it around and putting the light strip on. See, this is how the speaker light looks. It's perfectly centered, and the wire is gonna be up and it won't be seen. But see what I was talking about, that wire, could have done a better job of covering it, but it doesn't really matter though, and it's gonna look crazy regardless. And yeah, see, since the lights are glued already, see in there, and the final last hardest step, I'd say, is obviously putting this light strip in. But that's not even a big deal because I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And this is basically like you guys not even having to think, and you can do this to your own car. Me showing you guys this process for the W164 would probably save 10 years of your life. I'm being completely honest, because you don't have to think about any of this stuff. You just have to do it. Guys, this is how the light strip needs to go in. It's not perfectly in yet, but that's because over here it doesn't allow you to go much in. You see the indent, it needs to be cut in more, and also going all the way up to here. And this is the line where I'm gonna stop, and this part's gonna be cut out the most, and this is the part where there's gonna be a hole drilled for this wire to go through, and I'll show you guys how to do that. But first, you want to clean the panel off here, And you want to put masking tape or painter's tape along the spot where you do not want to mess up when you're cutting. Because this process, you have to be careful, obviously. You see guys, I masked off the areas where the incisions will be made. And probably over here will have to be as well, but we'll see after. So now, all you gotta do, follow the line, make slight incision, slowly, and then after, slide the light in. At first, this may be a daunting task because if you make a mistake, you could wreck the door panel, but it's better to not think about any of that and just be in the moment and just do it. So just cut it out and it'll be good. Alright guys, as you can see, now it's basically almost perfectly flush. I don't mind this much being out, so I don't really care. I'm gonna leave that much out because that's how it's gonna look better too. And over here, it's in as well. I'm probably gonna have to slice out a bit more in here, and then after, right through here is where we're gonna drill the hole, and I'll show you that right now. You gotta get a drill bit that's about this. It's the same size as like these small wires you see in the kit. And it's pretty small. And basically, if you can't figure it out, then use this small enough that fits through this slot right here. And this is about the spot where it's gonna be drilled. Right there, you see. And when you lift it up, through there. So nothing is through there. It's gonna be drilled. It's gonna be good. Okay, you see guys, now there's a perfectly drilled hole right here. Enough for the small wire to go through. Now, what you want to do is, obviously this connector is not going to go fully through. So, you make sure you remember the orientation of these wires. So right here, it's yellow, black, and red on this side. And you can take a picture of it yourself. And then you're just basically going to have to depin the connectors. See right there? They're just tiny little pins. I don't know, man. This fucking camera can't get any shit. Can't even see anything. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but there's tiny pins and they need to be pushed out with a little pick. Like this. You see guys, I don't know. I'm trying to show you this pin, but this camera is having a really hard time focusing. But yeah, see that? It just has to get pushed out. You can just watch a quick video on how to depin the thing connectors if you don't know, but it's really easy. It's hard for me to show you guys. But yeah, see now it's like bare wire and it can go through that hole, and then after you can put the pins back in. Okay, now as you guys can see, the wire is through for the light bar. And now the light bar is perfectly mounted on and into the car. It looks good. It doesn't need to be any more in than this. I couldn't care less. It's gonna shine well and look nice. And now time to just simply put the connector pins back in. Make sure you have the picture of how you put it. And then gonna mount the control box and I'll show you guys that. Alright guys, on to the final step of this lighting wiring. Basically you want to mount the slave box somewhere. It's gonna be good for all your wires, you see. And once I figure out the spot, I'll show you guys. You see, control box perfectly glued and mounted right under there. All wires plugged in This is the final power wire that's gonna go through that foam thing. And look, see, all the wires are clean. I probably put too much tape, but it doesn't matter. It's all clean. Everything's ready, glued. This is the final wire, the power wire. So I'm gonna have to solder some connectors onto here, and then you're basically done. All right, guys. Here's how I got it set up. The wiring looks pretty crazy right now. That's the control box. It's the light bar wire. It's the door handle wire, speaker wire, and the storage box light. And yeah, looking well. And now I gotta put the foam back on, and then I gotta find the wiring for the door, and that's it. All right, you see, I got the connectors, the male connectors here for the power wire, and then after it'll be spliced into the car. So you can quickly disconnect it if you ever need to take the door panel off again. And the final step now is to put that foam piece back on and glue it on and put it on the car. And I'll show you guys how that looks. Look at this pimp shit. It's not done yet because this light inside, it's too hard to see. And this light down here, I gotta make it more visible, and then it'll be good. Guys, all right, so basically I tapped it. I found the power wire. It's that big red wire you see right there. It's a constant. It's for the door locks. And I tried to find an ignition switch, but there is none for some reason. I tried all the wires and they don't work. So the only one is that constant for the door lock, and that's doesn't matter because the only way these lights will work is if those lights are on, because that one has the main control box, and the previous ones I would just wired up for the dash are only turned on with the ignition. So that means these will only turn on with the ignition, and they're not going to be drawing power from the car. So you don't have to worry any about your battery or whatever being drained, because the lights will turn off with the car. And for the ground, I'm not even gonna bother tapping into the car's ground, because just in case, you know, you never know. You don't want it to be like super permanent. You just never know. So I'd rather just not. You see this one bolt right here. There's one up there. I loosened it, and I'm just gonna have the ground wire of the lights attached to that with the connection. So I've made a quick disconnect here for the power wire, and I'm gonna make a male connector for the other one attached to the door card, and those are gonna go together. And then for the ground, I'll put a female and male connector, and it's gonna be good. See, now there's a ground female connector, and then the power female connector, and then on the door panel, this is obviously soldered wire, and then the male connectors here to connect and quickly disconnect. So it's basically like a factory thing. So if you need to, in case God forbid, take your door panel off for some reason, again, I hope you never have to do, and I hope I never have to do once it's back on, you could easily just take the clips off instead of doing anything else, which makes it way better designed. If you're doing this type of work, you should be thinking about that stuff constantly. Now you guys will see the lights, you see on the door now, how sick that looks.